Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to Football is Money. I'm your host, They Call Me Boss. So we're going to talk about why playoff football looks different. You know, every year people say the same thing. Playoff football just kind of feel different. You know, we don't understand. We go from week 18 regular season straight into the playoffs. And immediately the games are tighter. The pace slowed down. Leads don't feel safe. Mistakes feel louder. And it's not accidental. Playoff football doesn't look different because the rules change. It looks different because behavior changes. And today we're breaking down why. Not history, not format, but what actually changes on the field when everything becomes elimination. This is why playoff football looks different. First thing, all of the risk people are comfortable with taking in a regular season, it disappears. In the regular season, teams manage risk, right? In the playoffs, teams eliminate it. That's the first major shift. During the season, coaches experiment, players freelance, aggression is rewarded. In the playoffs, risk is audited. Decisions are conservative. Survival becomes the goal. Fourth down, get tighter. Trick plays, vanish. Deep shots get very selective. Not because teams get scared, but because one mistake can end everything. The playoff punish unnecessary risks. That's why you see more punts, more field goals, fewer gambles. The game shrinks. And when the game shrinks, every decision carries more weight. Number two, the game slows down. Playoff football feels slower, and that's intentional as well. Coaches, they shorten their playbook. Quarterbacks, they check down first. Teams prioritize possession. Why? Because time becomes leverage. Clock control replaces tempo. Field position replaces fireworks. Margin replaces momentum. The goal shift from how do we score fast to how do we control the game? That's why playoff drives feel methodical. That's why 3-point leads feel very meaningful. And that's why one bad series can flip an entire game. Speed doesn't disappear, the urgency does. And that changes everything. Another thing, defenses, they start to travel. Defense matter more in the playoffs, and it always has. Not because defense suddenly get better, but because offenses lose freedom. Defensive coordinators simplify. Fewer looks, clear assignments, less guessing. Mistakes on defense are fatal in January. So teams prioritize tackling, gap integrity, coverage discipline. Explosive plays get harder. Yards come in chunks instead of bursts. And that's why playoff games feel physical. That's why points feel like they are really earned in the playoffs. Defense travels because discipline travels. And in elimination football, discipline survives. All right, so let's wrap it up, real quick. We try to get through these real quick. I don't want it to be long, drawn-out shows to get you to understand the playoffs. All right, so playoff football looks different because the game changes its priorities. Risk disappears. The pace slows. The defense tightens up. Not because teams forget how to play, but because they understand what is at stake. The playoffs don't reward creativity. They reward control. It don't reward aggression. They reward execution. And once the game changes like that, something else starts to show up. Pressure. And not just physical pressure. We're talking about mental pressure, decision pressure, expectation pressure, legacy pressure. Because when every play can end the season, the weight doesn't just sit on the scoreboard. It sit on the people making the decisions. And that's the next layer we'll get into on the next episode. For now, hope you enjoyed the show. I'm your host, Football. I'm your host, They Call Me Boss. This is Football is Money, and see you on the next one.